And here we.
Well, you know what it is? Last Friday you weren't here, so I assumed the role. My apologies. Back to you.
Oh, never apologies. It is us. Let's do it together. Are you ready? And here we go, baby. It is the bottom line. Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. It is so good to be back with you guys, my friends. Braylon, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. So first and foremost, we missed you here. Glad you got a chance to get a day off. It was much needed. We filled in your shoes as best we could. But, man, this was one hell of a weekend in sports. Great weekend. We had a great family weekend. You got the Heisman. You had the – I'll let Fish talk about that. You had Nunez. The number 2 upset of all time.
Great card. Incredible card.
Great card.
Juliana Pena upsets Amanda Nunes. Oh, my God. You had that. You had MLS. You had Army Navy.
Oh.
Shout out to America because I think America won that day. Mad Saturday. And then yesterday you had some great games. I'm spent. It was a great week in sports.
I am sitting here representing the Detroit Lions on the top and the Michigan Wolverines above
Tigers.
my heart.
Wolverines.
Look at this. We're having a good time. Tom Mazawey, I say good afternoon to you, my friend.
What up, guys? Welcome back, Ryan. Merry Christmas to everybody. Look at this place. It's looking like Christmas around here.
It is really special, and I want to let people know what we're doing here if you're so inclined and want to be a part of it. Woodward Sports, Guardian Alarm, and Meyer present to you Stuff a Studio. How about it? We are collecting toys from Mott Children's Hospital from December 13th through the 17th. So you can help all of the children who have been in the hospital all year long. They have the holiday they deserve. Last year, Woodward Sports donated $70,000 worth of toys to Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, making it the largest donation in Mott history. This year, we're going to do it again, teaming up with Meyer, our great partners, and the power of our supporters to stuff our studio full of toys. So if you guys want to be a part of it, and we invite you to do so, you can drop off a toy anytime, December 13th through December 17th from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. And if you do so in between the hours of 2 to 4, that's when we're here on the air. Yep. We'd love to say hello as well.
We'll have you in the studio. You can come in.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk to you.
We'll even say hi to you on the air. Absolutely. Yep. If you're a local business, we will give you a shout-out. Or you can donate at woodwardsports.com. So this is a pretty impressive undertaking here, trying to make those kids at Mott Children's Hospital, which I know, Braylon, you have been a part of ever since your playing days at the University of Michigan.
Used to do the car wash there. Lloyd Carr started doing like the car wash and all the proceeds. And we would basically wash cars at Michigan Stadium. All the proceeds would go to Mott Children's Hospital. I was actually supposed to do the children's, the reach back that the Mott Children's Hospital does, the VIP recognition for all the people that donate to Mott Children's Hospital throughout the year. It was supposed to be last weekend, but because of the COVID restrictions put on by Governor Whitmer, they changed the date. So very, very, very involved with Mott Children's Hospital. And at the end of the day, you're going to waste money on cigarettes, a drink, DoorDash, an Uber, whatever. How much does it really cost you? $10, $12, get a toy, bring it in, and then think about how good you feel about yourself moving into the new year. So it doesn't take much.
Yeah, all of these toys directly go right there. We'll get a big truck, and we'll take it right to CS Mott Children's Hospital. It's a great thing.
Yep. That's what Christmas is all about.
It is. Yeah. It is what Christmas is all about. And I don't know, but to you, I do not mind this weather, by the way. 60 degrees over the weekend. It's going to be another 60 coming up on Thursday.
We'll pay for it.
I'll take it. Look, we're going to get winter.
January.
We're going to get winter, but every day that this thing goes along here, I feel like winter is shortened by a day at least.
I agree. I love the weather just as long as you give me the 23rd through the 26th. Give me some snow. Give me 30 degrees. I got to have cold and snowing on Christmas. Outside of that, give me the warmth.
I am hearing from my peeps
that
there is a potential for a big rainstorm on Christmas.
That sucks.
Potentially. because it's not going to be cold enough to snow.
I know it has to be
that.
under 35 degrees.
Oh,
I think 33 degrees, I believe.
Guys, the Lions didn't have a snow game in Denver. They had some potential there, but they played their tails off. And we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions, absolutely. But just initial thought from that game from me is that 21 players were out on Thursday. Right. The NFL is not one of those sports you just show up and play. They had a bad matchup. They were undermanned. Right. That was expected yesterday, in my opinion.
Yeah, we expect that going into it, and we talked about it on Thursday when you were here. We talked about it yesterday with the Riff Shot, the one-on-one Riff and Jade and our partners over there, Steve, the producer. We talked about it. You know, when you have that many individuals down on a team that's already struggling, you expect to lose games like that. Not to mention, it was on the road. It was in Denver. Demaryius Thomas, a longtime Bronco, passed away last Friday morning, He passed away, so they honored him. And I think the Broncos did a hell of a job with the honoring. The opening kick, or the first play, they had 10 men on the field. They took the penalty, and then the Detroit Lions declined the penalty that was talked about before the game started. Just a great way in which they represented him with the 88 decals on the helmet as well. You're not going to go out there undermanned in a game like that for the Broncos and come home with a win. They were expected to lose, and 38-10 is pretty much what I think people expected.
Kevin Durant puts up 51 points last night. Maz, I know you were excited about him. The Detroit Pistons lose for the 12th straight time, 116-104. They fall to 4-22 on the year. In tomorrow night's game against the Chicago Bulls has been postponed because the Bulls are dealing with a little bit of a COVID
They have 10 cases.
And
they're hanging out with the Lions.
Yeah, they just don't have enough players, so that game is postponed.
Who was the Pistons' last win against?
The Pistons' last win, Braylon, came on Wednesday, November 17th against the Indiana Pacers.
Who do they play on Thursday?
If you look ahead at the schedule, gang, you will see that the Detroit Pistons on Thursday play those same Indiana Pacers. So I'm not saying anything, but potentially there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Chance.
Are we looking for Jalen Rose?
For another win.
And that's number 5, by the way.
Look at that. How about it?
By the way,
they win on Thursday.
By the way, Bray, Patty P wants to know where you got your Michigan versus everyone gray on blue sweatshirt.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
Blue on gray, I should say.
Shout out to Michigan versus everybody. It is a Valiant brand, and Valiant is owned by my friend and my father's quarterback in Michigan in the 70s, John Wangler. Who we will be having on the show next week. John Wangler will be on the show next week. He will explain Michigan versus everybody and Valiant, which is a licensed company by Michigan and the NCAA. So shout out to John Wangler, number 5. Maybe they get their John Wangler on Thursday. Shout out to John Wangler, man. I appreciate him and his kids and his family. We've known them for years.
How about a couple of De La Salle guys over there? See, look at you. You can appreciate a good De La Salle pilot.
This is true. You know what? The rivalry produces some good players. You know what? I am all about respect.
Look at that.
I am all about the rivalry. Bishop Gallagher and De La Salle used to fight for the propeller. I think we stole it and never gave it back.
Brady somebody. I was going to say Brady Quinn came on with us the first week we were on the air.
Bold prediction.
And said that Bryce Young was going to win not only the Heisman this year, but win the Heisman next year and be a 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. He's 1 for 1 so far. Bryce Young walks away with the Heisman Trophy. Landslide victory over the second-place guy, Aiden Hutchinson.
That's who got second?
He finished in second place in the Heisman Trophy voting. That is just amazing. Third? I don't even know.
Kenny Pickett. Who finished 4th?
C.J. Stroud.
Who finished 5th?
I don't know who finished 5th.
Will Anderson. Who finished 6th?
Kenneth Walker.
He should have been at the Heisman.
Yeah.
You look back on the season, and he should have been there. I think they allowed Kenny Pickett to go because his quarterback, he played strong in the end.
The numbers were gaudy. Gaudy numbers as a quarterback.
But towards the end.
Yeah.
But towards the end, Kenny, I agree with Michigan State fan base. Kenneth Walker should have been there. Shouldn't have won by no means and should have finished 4th. But he should have been there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take anything away from the kid. A great year, but that night belonged to Bryce Young. And something that we'll talk about, really, I mean,
Aiden could have won it.
One drive away from really making that thing interesting.
97 yards is what Bryce Young had to go with a minute left against Auburn to go to overtime to win, to ultimately be playing Georgia for the SEC championship as well as a berth to a playoff in the number 1 spot. If they don't beat Auburn, if he doesn't go 97 yards, they don't go to the SEC championship. They don't play in the playoff, which now means Aiden Hutchinson could be the first pure defensive player to win a Heisman Trophy.
He very well could have won that thing, Maz, if it wasn't for, Braylon brought this up at the pre-show meeting about this drive against Auburn, this 97-yard drive. And I'm telling you, we were all watching that game. Auburn outplayed Alabama that day.
Oh, yeah.
It was that one drive that really solidified the Heisman Trophy, because if they lose to Auburn, they're not in the playoff. He's not probably winning the Heisman. And then you look around the table and see who's there. Maybe Kenneth Walker gets elevated a little bit.
Yep.
And maybe Hutchinson wins. He finished second in that award, but nonetheless, very deserving for the Alabama quarterback.
Well, it's 24
Bryce Young.
years today that Charles Woodson brought home the Heisman. So you're talking about the last defensive player to win. But you said pure defense. Obviously, he did punt returns, kick
And
returns, and did everything, and wide receiver.
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything away from Bryce Young. I don't want people to say, oh, Braylon said Bryce Young didn't deserve. No. Bryce Young would have deserved to be the Heisman regardless if they had won that game or not. But what I'm saying is now, if you lose to Auburn, you got a different attitude when you're playing Georgia. It's like, we lost. We're not playing for the playoffs, etc. It's a different attitude. You didn't win that game. Now you don't go out there and have 425 yards and 4 touchdowns against Georgia. Now you're looking at it, if I'm the Heisman voters, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, Alabama didn't win the SEC. Alabama's not playing for the playoffs. Kenneth Walker did this. Aiden Hutchinson did this. In the big moments, at the big time, it's a different voting process if Bryce doesn't do that for you. But he did, so he helped them make the decision very easily.
The Heisman Trophy award show itself was not so much about the players. All the talk of it is about what one of the hosts said. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But I want to start with the Detroit Lions when we come back. Some analysis regarding that one, where the team goes from here, and if you see a win on that schedule, because it appears that Jacksonville, man, oh man, that thing is going south. So you've got 5 losses to go. Really?
Yeah.
4 losses, excuse me.
Yeah.
4 more games for the Detroit Lions before this season mercifully comes to an end. You go Cardinals, at Falcons, at Seahawks, and Packers. To finish this thing out and solidify that number 1 overall pick. So we'll see what happens there. Some analysis of the Lions and Broncos and why yesterday made me not want to jump off a cliff. How about that? Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey guys, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.com, our studio sponsor, and where I put my bets in yesterday. I had the Bills yesterday. They let me down at the end of the game. It's all right. I'll bounce back tonight. It's Monday Night Football. And for all you first-timers, you hop on MyBookie.ag right now. Use the promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Spread tonight, 2.5. We'll see if they could win it. It's the Arizona Cardinals and the L.A. Rams. Who needs it more? They both need this game, but can Matthew Stafford beat a winning team tonight? We'll see who you're going to put your money on. Bet Monday Night Football, of course, NBA in full swing, college football getting ready for bowl season, and, of course, a full slate of NFL games starts on Thursday night. You can do it all on MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please call the Michigan Gambling Problem Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
It is Joey from Woodward Sports, the best time of the year when we come out with our friends at Meyer. And Mike, thank you so much for all your contributions. $5,000 this year.
Yes, sir. Always. $5,000 for Joey and the Woodward Sports team over here at Royal Oak Meyer. Come get some.
So what is it that you love so much about just supporting charities? I mean, I feel like you have the best job.
Yeah, Meyer provides us the opportunity to enrich the lives of communities that we serve in. And obviously Royal Oak, Birmingham, Clawson, we've got a lot of population with schools. And Woodward Sports has given back. Stuff the studio last year was amazing. And I partnered with Joey right away, like we got to do it again. So I see we got a bunch of carts here. And I can't wait to fulfill some needs of kids again.
Right back here, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, talking a little Lions football now. Jared Goff, 24 of 39, 215 yards, a pick. The Lions really just got blown away in that second half. 38-10 was the final. They fall to 1-11-1 on the season. Braylon, I'm not freaking out about this game.
Please tell me why, because I understand that they had a lot of players that weren't in due to COVID, due to flu, due to some other reasons. I legitimately watched I watched the first half at O'Toole's. Shout out to O'Toole's, who was our host for when the Lions are away for the pregame show. Appreciate you, O'Toole's. I was having some conversations with Jade, having some conversation with Neil Rule. It was 10-14. I blinked, and it was 38-10. So please tell me why you're not jumping off the cliff.
I think it's impossible, especially in this sport, to not have any practice time and go on the road and win a football game, or even just play a football game. Not even play at home, or it doesn't matter where you're playing. I think the NFL is unlike any other sport that really takes reps. Talk about a game plan. You need practice time. You would know more about that than I do. I just don't think you can show up and play in an NFL football game. I think these guys compete. Really devastated about the Jerry Jacobs injury. This kid was playing his tail off. He did tear his ACL. He made that announcement on Twitter today. Yep. That looked to be another one of those Brad Holmes, diamond in the rough kind of guys. I thought it was a terrible matchup to begin with. What Vic Fangio does with that blitzing defense, how many batted balls yesterday?
So many.
I mean, it was almost like you knew exactly what was going to happen in that game if they were 100% because of the matchup. The NFL is about matchups. Sports is about matchups. And it was a terrible matchup from the jump. And then you throw in all of these players who were out. I mean, 6 players missed the game. 21 players earlier in the week missed time at practice. You just can't win like that in the National Football League.
No, you never give yourself a chance to have like some consistency, some congruency, and work and have that chemistry going into the week. Each team is different, so you put together different you put together different schemes. You put together different strategies for beating different opponents, and you got to have all your guys there to execute. You got to have all your guys there to go over the game plan, and not being able to have those guys available. As you like to say, availability is the best ability. Not having those guys, it sucks, and it is hard to go into a game. It's a tough one. I think for me, and it just seems like all season, it seems like whenever the Lions take a step forward, the following week they take a step back. Yep. And for whatever reason.
See that?
And I understand that a lot of guys were off because of COVID. A lot of guys didn't practice this week and they were forced not to have reps, but then playing the game like you say. But every time you have a good week, last week they got to win. And then they come back and COVID strikes the building, the flu strikes the building, the lack of reps strikes the building, and you go out there and you lose to Denver. You have a good game against the Rams. You come back and get the doors blown off you by, I think it was either Cincinnati or Philly. Every week, you play Vikings tough. And then you come back and get whooped. You play the Baltimore Ravens tough. Every week it just seems like something has taken the Detroit Lions away from building on the positivity that they had, but building on the repetitions they had in terms of physicality and defense. Every week it's something that takes away from the Lions moving forward.
And they get a tough matchup coming up. Cardinals will be at home. Cardinals play tonight, so they'll have a short week. I guess they're home tonight, I think. Is Arizona home tonight?
Yeah.
So they'll chill and then come to Detroit. So they got some time. But this game reminded me of the Packers game. Remember how good they played in the first half of that Green Bay game? The Lions did. And then the second half, they
check
were
that.
winning.
Arizona here At Detroit.
That's what I meant. Yeah, Arizona's here.
Yeah,
But
he
tonight,
said the Cardinals can chill tonight. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, that Green Bay game, it reminded me of that. They hung with Denver the first half.
They were winning at halftime.
Yeah, they ran out of steam here.
Yeah.
But the Reynolds brothers, got to like Josh Reynolds on the outside and Craig Reynolds up the middle. 88 yards for Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
So good bright spots yesterday.
Yeah, and that's
Call it what you want.
Again, I'm a little bit more at peace because the guys that this regime has taken again in terms of the draft, and you look at Penei Sewell again, one of the most highly graded players if you follow that Pro Football Focus. Yep. One of the more highly graded players. You've got guys all up and down. And again, the Jacobs injury is devastating, but there are pieces on this team that I am feeling much better about, and it's just going to take time. Now, we'll look ahead. They'll probably, hopefully, and now that they got that win out of the way, Braylon, I hope they do lose these final 4 games of the season to just make sure they get that first pick in the draft.
Well, the good news is, we talked about it yesterday, is you don't have to tank. And the reason why you don't have to try and tank is just look who you're playing.
Yeah, you don't have to try to lose
because
if you're the Detroit
the
Lions.
Arizona Cardinals are trying to get home field advantage because they don't want to go to Green Bay at the end of, in the playoffs. Green Bay also plays us. They don't want to go to Arizona, although they've won there already without their wide receivers who are all now back. But everybody wants that number 1 spot in the NFC. So when they play the Lions, they look at it as an NFC win. So they're going to play their main guys. So you don't have to tank because you ain't beating those guys.
Green Bay will have it all wrapped up by then, perhaps. That's the downside because they play the last game of the season. Then you got Atlanta, who played well this week, and you get the Seahawks, who are still trying to win for some reason. Maybe they think they can still sneak into playoffs.
It probably
somehow.
could. 8 and 9 might get you in the playoffs in the NFC. It just might. And if you look at these, standings, I mean, Atlanta is not out of this thing by a mile.
They're playing good.
The Atlanta Falcons are 6-7. If you are 6-7, which 1, 2,
4 games
3,
left?
4, 5 teams in the NFC are 6-7.
All
5 of those teams believe they have what it takes to make a run in the last month of the season and get in.
The downside for the Lions is they don't have any room for error. So if they win a game, they're not going to be the number 1 team because it don't look like Jacksonville is even playing for Urban Meyer anymore, and the Texans, they just don't have it either. Those 2 teams are going to go 0-4 going down the stretch.
Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans play each other, I believe, this week.
That's right. Good.
Yeah.
So one of those teams, and I think
go to
Jacksonville's dead. So one of those teams is dead. So Houston will probably go to 3, and Jacksonville is just sitting there.
They went to Davis Mills for the remaining part of the year as their quarterback.
They can run a little bit.
I don't know who would get a tiebreaker between. Well, I guess there wouldn't be a tiebreaker because the Lions have the tie.
Right.
So
these 2 teams will probably play to a tie as well.
So we'll see about that.
6-6.
I don't know. Let me ask you a dumb question. Why? Because
no such thing.
Bring up the NFC. Dumb question.
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers are playing some of their best football of the year as they've gotten healthy. They've got a guy over there named Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not a spring chicken, but he's a quarterback that they believe they can win with, perhaps. Is Trey Lance available?
No. They're keeping Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Garoppolo will be traded.
Yeah.
Garoppolo will be traded.
They'll get a 3rd or 4th round pick for him.
And then what's helping Jimmy Garoppolo is the fact that they're running the ball well, and also Deebo Samuel and George freaking Kittle.
Yep.
Something about those Iowa Hawkeye tight ends, man. George Kittle, 2 back-to-back games at 150 or more yards and a touchdown. Yesterday, he was a man possessed. He alone is the reason why the 49ers have won the last 2 games, especially yesterday.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo,
he's a good game manager.
He's 30 years old. I'm just saying, if you need quarterback help, there is help out there.
What if he went up the coast?
Seattle?
No, not that far. No, I guess it wouldn't be up the coast. Maybe up and slightly east to Colorado.
Denver? Denver's looking for a quarterback for sure.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Denver, Jerry Jeudy. You got a running back field now. KJ Hamler is coming back.
You like him better? You like him better than Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, I think Teddy's day is done. I think don't get me wrong. When Teddy had that amazing year in Minnesota, he got hurt. He came back, and since his injury, he's made some plays. He made some plays in Carolina, here and there, ultimately lost. Made some plays for the Saints when he had to fill in for Drew. I think he actually went, 4-1 with his time playing. And then he looked decent early on this season. But he doesn't look like a guy that I'm willing to bet the house on. He doesn't look like a guy that I want representing my franchise into the next 4 years, the next 5 years. Jimmy G, you put the right pieces around him, surround him with a good defense. There's a lot of quarterbacks that win because you surround them with winning pieces. I think Jimmy G could be good in Denver.
What if Jimmy G wins the NFC and takes his team to the Super Bowl? Would the San Francisco 49ers take the #1 overall pick for Trey Lance?
No.
No.
Not at all. Kyle Shanahan is betting his career on Trey Lance.
All right, well, you should have bet his career on Mac Jones. It might work out well.
And we
for
should
him.
have took Mac Parsons.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons. Did you see? Oh,
Do I see?
Don't get me started.
You know I see.
I'm on Maz's team now.
You know I see.
I'm on Maz's team now.
Are you on Desmond Howard's team?
Always.
All the talk about the Heisman Trophy Award surrounded one comment regarding the Ohio State offensive line, and it came out of the mouth of ESPN analyst, former Michigan Wolverine, Heisman Trophy winner Desmond Howard. You'll hear what he has to say and all the flack that he's getting for it. We'll talk about it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With mortgage interest rates unbelievably low, the stakes to find your new home have never been higher. And that's why Hall Financial's exclusive realtor network allows us to connect you with a top-rated realtor in your area, making sure you take on the housing market and win. Hall Financial has earned over 4,000 five-star reviews because of our technology and our commitment to closing your loan fast. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
You want to find out how to make $77,000 after you graduate in an industry that is always necessary? Maz, you got AC?
You know it.
Hello,
Actually,
check.
we got the AC on right now in the studio
We
because
do.
it's 60 plus outside. Do you have heat in the wintertime?
Damn right.
That means heating and cooling is always essential, right?
Hello, check.
Shout out to Northwestern Tech.
Check one.
.edu. Visit northwesterntech.edu right now to find out how you $77,000 out the gate you can make and start a career, not a job, but a career.
You don't want a job. You want a career.
You want a career. It comes with benefits.
Not a game.
It comes with
Not a game.
Not a game. It comes with benefits.
Talking about practice.
It comes with marriage. It comes with kids, a family, white picket fences. That's what a career does for you. Visit northwesterntech.edu right now.
And again, if you are just kind of giving a gander here at the old show, want to let you know about our Stuff a Studio campaign. You can drop off a toy.
We got to get a camera so
or
we can
two, or
pan
three, or
back
four,
here.
or however many you want in the studio here. We're located at 15 in Birmingham, 15 in Woodward in Birmingham. Stuff a Studio. All the proceeds, all the toys go to Mott Children's Hospital. Last year, $70,000 worth of toys went to Mott Children's Hospital.
Most ever.
Yes. Single greatest donation to that great hospital and those great kids around this Christmas time. So
got some good stuff here, man. I might pick up that skateboard after we get off the air.
I like those bowling pins too. Thanks to Guardian Alarm, Meyer, and everybody helping out with our Stuff a Studio campaign. Want to get to this Heisman Trophy situation. Lots of talk over the weekend. We'll give our take on it momentarily, but this was Desmond Howard's comment to C.J. Stroud.
He's interviewing.
Yeah.
He's interviewing Hutch.
Yes.
And gives shade to C.J. Stroud.
Take a listen.
You know, the main mission was to come back, was to beat Ohio State and win a Big Ten championship. And
Hey, Kenny, I'm glad you're in between them.
That's good. And you know,
please stay there.
Better than his offensive lineman.
Just
Throw him under the bus. And you know, we did those things. So now we're in the playoffs, so we got a chance.
Oh, Ryan, you got me back on camera. They should have showed Ryan Day's face. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, was he there? Did you see his face?
All coaches are there. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he was sitting to the right.
I didn't see.
Was his cheeks red?
As always, just like Santa Claus.
Look, the comment is like comment in 1 second. Why is that controversial that Aiden Hutchinson why did people react when Aiden Hutchinson said, "Yeah, our main goal is to beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten championship"? What does that have? Whoa! Why were people doing that?
I don't think that was the reaction in terms of the intent. I think the reaction was, it was what you said. But I think the reason why it did it, just having fun, like it's when you joke.
Yeah,
like it's like in high school.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's not. It's playful banter. Like
that's where Tebow stepped in and said, "Hey, I'm glad you're in the middle of them."
Yeah, like when you're in high school and guys are joking and somebody tells you, "Oh, he said your mama." Like I think it was fun.
Yes.
Once Desmond said what he said, then it got cringy.
And what he said, if you had trouble hearing it, he said better than his offensive lineman in regard to Kenny Pickett being in the middle of Hutchinson and Stroud.
Stroud did not smile, by the way. He was uncomfortable.
And he looked uncomfortable the whole week. The whole week. I saw him on game day earlier in the day. Like he just looked uncomfortable.
Can I just say something on a sidebar?
Please.
That kid is going to tear it up next year.
Yeah. I agree.
Fine.
But that's what we want.
So is my kid. So is our kid.
I'm just telling you.
David Ojabo said he wants to come back to school.
Oh,
so you know what? You want to have an attitude? Good for you. Bring it. Because so will Michigan's defense and so will Michigan.
Braylon, did you have a problem with Desmond Howard's comment?
No. Personally, you see what my shirt says, Michigan versus everybody. We've been taking SHIT for the last 17 years from Ohio State. We've been taking stuff from Michigan State for the last 10 years, off and on. So, no, I didn't. No, not at all. Now, with that being said, I can understand the Downtown Athletic Club of New York, who is the group that presents the Heisman, actually the group that owns the Heisman, by Desmond being a former Heisman Trophy winner. I can understand them maybe feeling a type of way that one of their former winners cracked a joke like that on the stage for national TV. I can understand them having an issue with that. Outside of that, I don't have an issue with it at all. Kirk Herbstreit got to talk stuff about Michigan on national TV.
What did he say?
Don't we have it?
Let me remind you what he said.
Please do. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It was a perfect setup. We set him up, Alex.
I still think Michigan waves the white flag, potentially avoids playing Ohio State next week, and then, David, they'll potentially get a game on the 19th. They could be sitting there with 6 games. And Michigan, is that fair, David? Michigan could opt out, basically, of that game and keep Ohio State out of 6 games to qualify for the Big Ten championship. That doesn't make sense to me, but...
Play that first 5 seconds one more time, please, Alex.
I still think Michigan waves the white flag, potentially avoids playing Ohio.
I tell you like this, you kiss my ass. What Desmond Howard said, I have no problem with, because we've been taking stuff like this. Rightfully so, though. Michigan has put themselves in a situation over the past 17 years to take criticism like this. Don't forget, Ohio State also the same group that said only thing short is Michigan's you-know-what's, talking about when we said that J.T. Barrett was short, which he was. They've cracked jokes for 17 years, and we've gracefully taken the jokes because we've deserved them. When Michigan State said things about us, we gracefully took it up to you-know-what because we deserved it. One comment in 3 weeks, I need everybody that's an Ohio State fan base and people nationally have a problem with Michigan to calm the you-know-what down.
I don't know about gracefully, but we've taken it. And we've had to take it. And we've taken it. And we've turned it around. And we've totally taking it even some more. So
the fact that I said we deserved it, that's called taking it gracefully.
I am shocked at how soft Ohio State fans are. I am shocked at how soft some Michigan State fans are that couldn't even believe that Aiden Hutchinson was there and not their guy.
As opposed to saying, you know what, it's not about Aiden Hutchinson replacing Kenneth Walker. It was about Kenny Pickett replacing Kenneth Walker. Be mad at Pitt and the people that put him there, not Aiden Hutchinson in Michigan.
Even so, I mean, no offense to these Buckeye fans, but screw you.
Yeah.
It has literally been 3 weeks out of 18 years that we've had a chance to talk some crap. And again, as somebody who is a little loose with his words sometimes.
You're not the only one.
Like, sometimes jokes land, sometimes they don't land. But at the end of the day, they're all jokes. They're all just kind of one-liners thrown in here and there. Sometimes you get a laugh out of them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes people take it a little too seriously, sometimes they don't. When you talk for a living and you're in position to do this, some things are going to be said that just kind of miss the mark once in a while. And if that joke, and it was a joke, it was trying to be a one-liner, maybe get a reaction in the moment, maybe it didn't land well, I'm sorry. It doesn't require people to be fired from their job. It doesn't require people's kids to get death threats.
It didn't require an apology.
You know,
in my word.
And no, it doesn't require an apology. No. And I'm not saying that Desmond's kids have gotten death threats. I'm just saying, like, we've seen this in the past where people have gotten just flat, downright awfulness. This is a tweet from Desmond Howard. I would like to apologize to everyone who doesn't have the ability to recognize a fun, good-natured ribbing amongst football rivals. CJ is good, we good, and that's all that matters to me. Everyone else can relax and enjoy the rest of their night. I mean, seriously. Now, I am not the most staunch, biggest, oh my God, Desmond Howard is the greatest thing in the world kind of guy. It's like, you know, I love Desmond Howard for what he did at Michigan. Am I the biggest fan of his on game day? Not the biggest.
You're not a fan of game day.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of game day. I think Fox Big Noon Kickoff blows it away.
At the end of the day, rivalries are what makes sports great. Storylines and rivalry are what makes sports great. I was talking to Dave Terrell, not recently. I talked to him recently, but I talked to him a while ago, and I cracked a joke about how Plaxico Burress treated him like a dish rag. And you know what Dave said? Dave didn't get mad at the fellow Michigan guy for saying Plaxico Burress dish ragged him. He said, man, that mofo got me good, man. I tried to hurry up and get out the game. He's fun. He could laugh at himself because it's the rivalry. You play to be in a Michigan State rivalry. You play to be in a Texas-Oklahoma rivalry. And you play so that you can go on stage as a former Michigan player and a Heisman Trophy winner and give a little bit of smack talk to C.J. Stroud and Ohio State. It's all in the game. You saw what Desmond said. He said, we good, me and C.J. good, everybody else, Aaron Rodgers it. RELAX.
Maz, I want you to weigh in on this. Also going to get some people on the YouTube chat involved as well. Do you have a problem with what Desmond said and the reaction? Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. If you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to go to that holiday party, go to that Christmas party, you want to maybe take your wife out on a date. How about this? Come on into Lady Jane's. Let the stylist here, the beautiful stylist here, make you feel right at home. They get you all cozy. Get maybe a hot lather neck shave because you don't want to disrespect your neck. Maybe get those eyebrows trimmed and, of course, get a wash, a shampoo. Just clean up a little bit, fellas, for the holidays. All you got to do is stop into one of several locations around the Metro Detroit area. Also, if you're listening out of state, look for a Lady Jane's near you. Multiple states. I think we're in something like 30 states or something like that. See if there's one near you. Lady Jane's, Haircuts for Men. Come in, stop in, walk in, sign in, sit down, and be handsome and clean. Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
All right, Maz, let me have it. We are talking about this Desmond Howard situation here from the Heisman Trophy presentation. I don't have a problem with it at all. What say you?
Well, first of all, I'm like you. I like Des. as a guy, as like a fourth, a fifth on the panel. But you know, those interviews and stuff, that's for the Reese Davises and the Chris Fowlers and those kind of guys. And they had the rookies there. They had Tebow there. They had
all Heisman winners.
All the Heisman winners. RG3. I personally would have rather had just RG3 talk to these kids.
He's really good.
It's just, I don't know. Desmond kind of, he kind of jokes about it. He's one of those jokers. And they say the same thing when Charles Woodson does it on the Fox. When he is so pro-Michigan, he's got the flag, he's waving the flag, he's running around the stadium. People just seem to have an issue with, I think, these former Michigan athletes, these Heisman Trophy winners. I think they have an issue with them. I don't know what it is. I think, I'll say what it is. I think people don't like Michigan Wolverine people. That's the way I'm looking at it. Because they don't mean anything by it. They're just bragging about their school. In hindsight, Desmond shouldn't have said that about the offensive line. He shouldn't have. The kid was uncomfortable to begin with, and it just looked bad. That's all. I got nothing else on it. Other than that, it's just playful humor, like you were saying, Braylon.
I don't know if he was uncomfortable necessarily with that versus what is Ohio State used to at this time of year. They're used to being the Big Ten champs. They're used to being ready to play for the playoffs. They're used to having a chance to potentially play turn off. Usually play in the national championship game. They're not playing for any of that. They didn't win the Big Ten. So I think when you see his face up there, it's one, he knows he's not going to win the Heisman. So he's already perturbed about
jealousy.
that. Exactly. Yeah. I think it's more so that. Now with Michigan fans, I think people hate Michigan so much. There's so much Michigan representation on the national scene as it relates to media. From Desmond to Charles to Brian Greasy, and the list goes on, and they've all had success at the highest level.
I mean, even if you want to play that game, I mean, you can even go to Rich Eisen, to Tracy Wolfson.
Rich Eisen, Tracy Wolfson, and the list goes. Oh, Adam Schefter. Yeah,
Adam he's a big Schefter, Dana Jacobson.
So, and I think that's what pisses people off. There's just so much Michigan representation, and now that we're winning again, you're starting to see that M get a little bit bigger. That block M get a little bit wider, and right now it's pissing people off.
Some jealousy.
Yeah,
it is.
Not bad for a university that doesn't have a broadcasting.
I just found that out a couple years ago.
Pretty good there. Just getting some people in on the YouTube chat. Thanks for everybody in your comments. Ohio State, this is from Chuck. Ohio State just hate anything Michigan, period. They would have found a way to be upset if he kissed that quarterback's behind. Patty says Ohio State was laughing it up when they were winning. That is absolutely true. Tammy writes, I had no problem at all with what Desmond said. And I think that is, that's really at the crux of the issue. Ohio State people have no idea how to react to Michigan beating them. It's been 10 years since Michigan has won. Yeah. It's been 17 of 18 years that they've dominated the series. And again, Michigan Wolverines fans, players, media, Des, Charles Woodson, they've had to sit through on their little sets too and just take it for the better part of 2 decades. And Ohio State fans can't take 3 weeks. Soft. Seriously.
Capital T.
I am actually shocked at how soft Ohio State people are. Yeah. I thought they were much tougher than this. Yeah. Much tougher. And that is why, look, Ryan Day's name is being thrown out there for NFL jobs.
Yeah.
Ryan Day's
not so fast.
Be careful about Ryan Day.
Pump your brakes.
I'm telling you, because Jim Harbaugh was not wrong about Ryan Day being born on third base and taking over an Urban Meyer-led team. I think if you are an Ohio State football fan, let's see how your coach does. Let's see if Ryan Day can do what Urban Meyer did at Ohio State and not just be good with Urban's guys. Can he recruit? Can he develop those players? And can he continue on the legacy of a program?
Same thing with Lincoln Riley and Stoops. Lincoln Riley inherited a team that Bob Stoops left to him. Like Bob Stoops, they went 10-2 went 10-1. 11-1 when he gave up the reins. He said, "Hey, Lincoln, I'm tired. I'm done. I realize I can't do what it takes to get us over that hump. You're younger. He gave him a team that was 11-1. Lincoln had all Stoops guys for 4 years and didn't win. He got to the playoffs, but he couldn't get over that hump, and now he's going to USC. USC better be careful too.
Ryan Day, you got to give him this, guy. So he went out. He did recruit. Those receivers are his. That quarterback, Justin Fields, was his.
Are they his or is Ohio State's?
Ohio State / Ryan Day. He's the guy in charge. Of course they are.
They're a brand that hasn't changed. Unlike Michigan, we lost our identity when you went from Rich Rod to Brady Hoke. You bring in Jim Harbaugh, and now the identity is back. Ohio State never lost their identity as they lost coaches. Yeah, Fickle, they had the 1 year, whatever. But from Tressel to Fickle to Urban today, they never lost their identity. So I think, yes, I will give him credit. But at the same time, a lot of people want to go to Ohio State because they never lost their identity. They understand branding. They know how to get it done. No matter who goes there, insert coach here. So I don't want to give Ryan Day too much credit for recruiting.
And not only that, guys, but I think if you are Ohio State, if you're Michigan, this thing's going to get real interesting here around. Now, I know Brian Kelly had such great teams at Notre Dame. They never got over the hump to win the national championship. But this guy they got now, Freeman, he's going to recruit. Harbaugh, off a Big Ten championship and a playoff, is going to recruit. I mean, Michigan's up to number 4 already. Mel Tucker is going to recruit.
And by the way, use the hell out that transfer portal.
Absolutely. So whereas Urban Meyer kind of had this free pass, I think, while Michigan was struggling and Michigan State was struggling towards the end, and Penn State was struggling, everybody just kind of walked to Ohio State. I think this hub of these 4 schools with Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, where you have 4 coaches that are really competing for every single player, in many cases the same player. Yeah. It's going to get interesting around here, and I think Ohio State probably a little bit nervous about that.
No, you're 100% right. Ohio State has had the privilege of, they've competed against Notre Dame because Notre Dame has been there. They have been a rival in terms of competing. But even with competing against Notre Dame goes after a certain type of player.
Yeah, exactly.
They go after a certain type of player who's not going to Ohio State. Let's call a spade a spade. That type of player is going to a Michigan or Notre Dame or Stanford. So now you have Michigan is winning on the national spotlight, and now they're going into the same living room that Ohio State could easily have gone behind, and it was like, oh, well, it's Ohio State. It's Urban Meyer. We're going there. We see nothing but winning. But now you're looking, man, Michigan State beat Michigan last year. They got a pretty good coach, too. They went 11-3. I'm giving them the Peach Bowl win. They went 11-3. You're looking at Ohio State. Well, they're still Ohio State. Ryan Day's going to get it together. They had a guy at the Heisman. Now you're looking at Michigan. Well, Michigan did beat Ohio State. They got Aiden Hutchinson was at the Heisman, and they played against Georgia and maybe further than that. You're going to be right. Kids, you're not going to know what to do. Mm-hmm. You're surrounded by teams in the same area that are all good, all have a national appeal, and they all have players that have individual appeal and awards.
The Big Ten really took a step up with the Big 3 this year. And then the Little 4, I mean, Penn State is no slouch.
Sure.
They lost a bunch of close games this year, and they're going to bounce back.
Quarterback got hurt, to your point.
Absolutely.
You're right.
I think he's coming back for his 12th year next year, too, by the way.
Him and Martinez.
Yeah.
So I think the Big Ten is in good hands going forward. You got to do something about the West.
Even
though.
Purdue.
We talked about
Purdue's 8-4.
They're tough.
Purdue was 8-4.
David Bell not going to play in the bowl game, by the way.
Smart.
Yeah,
what bowl game are they even in?
I don't even know. Whatever one.
Music City, I think. I think Music City.
Music City. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing David Bell in a Lions uniform, but that's another story for another day, guys. We're going to bring back a fan favorite. It is the segment we appropriately call "Man
Chill Out."
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. Bottom line.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuffer Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuffer Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Meyer.
Woodward Sports Network. Let's go!
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. That's right, located in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. Wanted to let you know that if you want to buy a car from them, man, they've got it for you. All you got to do is go in there, and they've got it. Also on the pre-owned lot, any make, any model. Look, Maz is looking them up every day, wanting to buy a car, wanting to sell a car. You want to sell your car back to them, Maz?
Yeah, I want a Blazer.
Oh,
I want to step it up to a Blazer.
They got a couple of truckloads of Blazers.
We just talked to Chevy Will.
That's right. Chevy Will was here on Friday. You want to sell your car? Just go on in. It's a quick, easy process. Maybe you're coming up on your miles. You want to get rid of it. You don't want to go over on those miles. Maybe you can get through the next couple of months with one car down in the family. Sell your car back to them. Whether you own the car, whether you lease the car, doesn't matter. Les Stanford is your authorized lease return center. Look them up online, lesstanford.com, 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 or you can give them a call, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000. Les Stanford Chevrolet, find new roads.
Chevy Will, if you're out there watching.
How'd Chevy Will do this week?
I don't know about him, but I know who did do good.
I think he did okay.
Yeah? Braylon, how'd you do this week?
You know, same old Leon Phelps genius. That's a quote from Ladies Man. Good, actually. I was 6-1.
Oh, good.
6-1, and if Lamar Jackson doesn't get hurt, I would be 7-0.
They almost won that game anyway.
I know.
How did that happen?
That's something.
How about that division right now?
Yeah.
You got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-1 at the bottom of the division. You got the Browns in second place, mind you, at 7-6. Then you have the Ravens are at the top of the division, 8-4.
With the Bengals.
And then you have the Bengals in third place at 7-6 as well. Browns on the tiebreaker. So it's an ugly division, man.
Very, very good.
Very close.
Hey, gang, it is that time of the day we like to call Man Chill Out.
You think it's funny?
Chill, buddy.
Pack your bags, get the hell off. Now, do you understand what you did?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Who's up today? Me?
Yeah,
I'll
you
go
lead
first. Okay, here we go.
Go for it, brother.
So yesterday, in overtime, Tom Brady threw career touchdown pass number 700. Do we have that video?
700.
Okay, now follow the ball. This is going to be Rashad Perriman.
Oh, he found his game
right.
somehow, right?
Rashad Perriman.
So do we get
Watch the ball. Spins it, lets it go. Oh, the guy did get it. Oh my God.
The Tampa Bay guy was looking for it.
Tampa Bay guy. Can you play that once more if you watch it on YouTube? Oh my gosh. Watch the Tampa Bay guy just run for that ball.
He was told.
He got it. So this was Tom Brady's 700th career touchdown pass. This is on the heels of Mike Evans throwing the Tom Brady career leading touchdown pass back in November to the States. None of these Tampa Bay wide receivers know anything about Tom Brady's milestones. So I say to all of you Tampa Bay wide receivers, man, chill out. What Tom Brady needs to do is he needs to have a skull session, or somebody in the Bucs organization needs to have a skull session on Friday or on Saturday on the chalkboard and say, don't throw any balls in the stands. Give all the balls back to the officials, because our quarterback here is making history with every pass he throws. So to all the Tampa Bay receivers, man, chill out.
As a former NFL wide receiver, this is absolutely ridiculous, Ryan.
Who played with not Tom Brady.
This is absolutely ridiculous. And the reason why I say it's absolutely ridiculous is, one, it's not my job to know what milestone Tom Brady is at, because he has all the freaking records. I'm surprised he doesn't have them already. It's not my job to catch a game-winning touchdown and then in the middle of an exciting moment remember, oh, by the way, this was Tom Brady's 700. Let me keep this ball and hand it to the GOAT. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking of, one, My ass was out the league a minute ago. I got cut by the Detroit Lions. Now I'm playing for a team that's about to win the Super Bowl, and I just scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime to help us get a chance to having home field advantage. With that being said, I say, Ryan Ermanni, you chill out.
Oh, come on.
You chill out. No, that's not my real chill out. I was just being funny.
Great.
Hey, Christina, Keller Williams in the studio. How you doing over there?
What's happening over here, Maz? What do we got?
Christina's here with some gifts for our studio.
Great.
Matter of fact, come on up.
Come on up, Christina. Give us a sense of what's happening here.
Yeah, let's give Christina the mic so she can talk about it. But obviously, it's our first day of Stuff a Studio. Welcome, everybody.
All right.
Last year, we were able to donate $70,000 worth of toys to the Mott Children's Hospital. We're going to be here all week long collecting toys from dusk till dawn. And as you can see, we already got a lot. And then Christina showed up with her crew, her lovely crew.
Nice.
And they got toys, too. So I'll let Christina talk.
Thanks. I'm Christina Gennari from Keller Williams Domain here in Birmingham. And we just wanted to contribute and bring a whole bunch of bags of toys for these kids and make sure they have a great Christmas and holiday.
Christina, this is absolutely fantastic. We thank you so much for your donation. Come on in, make yourself at home. Absolutely. This is such an important campaign that we've kind of undertaken here, and Stick and Joey and Adam and everybody started last year. Over $70,000 worth of toys going right back to Mott Children's Hospital, and it doesn't happen without donations like yours. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. We're happy to participate and so happy you guys are doing this for us.
So before we let Christina leave the studio, Ryan and myself, we are folding champions. But we almost didn't get out the first round. We had a chance. The second round, we had a bye. We ran into Christina and Madison, Woodward Sports own, in the second round. And we had to come back because they were kicking our tail, man. So we don't want to see you guys again.
Foaling a runner-up right here.
She's got a hell of an arm.
It was all Maddie. I just had a few lucky shots. But you guys were the champions. So.
I would appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah. Christina, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And again, this is how this gets done. And we're trying to make Christmas a little special, a little bit more special for kids who might not be able to spend Christmas in their homes, around their families, and have to do so in a hospital. And I know, Braylon, like we said earlier in the show, when you were at the University of Michigan, your partnership with the football program and those kids at Mott Children's Hospital was very important and very crucial to the fabric of that community.
And you just never know who you can touch. Randomly and ironically, I was at a golf outing, I want to say maybe in July, and I played in a group with a guy whose son passed away of cancer. He was a part of the Mott Children's Hospital, and he talked about that moment in terms of one of the last memories his son had before he passed, getting touched up a little bit, is coming to the car wash, hanging out with the Michigan players, and then he passed away, and talking to his father. And so it's a great thing that we do, man. Like, you never know what these are going to do for the kids and the representation of, man. It's a great day.
This gets you in the Christmas spirit, if nothing else. I mean, it's kids. It's a kids' holiday. When you have those little kids and you can go shopping for these toys, nothing brings you more joy. Now, to give to these kids that are going to be in a hospital on the holiday season, and their families that are going back and forth, and all this expense and all the problems that these kids are going through, to give them this that's Christmas to me, 100%.
I do want to say, we keep throwing around that $70,000 figure last year. We absolutely want to obliterate that this year. So we are inviting anybody out there who's watching this to stop by our studio. We're at 34915 Woodward Avenue in Birmingham. You can come anytime from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. We're here. If you come from the hours of 2 to 4, that's when Braylon and I and Maz are here. We'll get you up here. We'll say hello to you. If you're a business, you want a shout out, come on in. We'll certainly do that for you. Drop off toys all week. Again, everything going to Mott Children's Hospital.
If we're jumping back on track before we got it, I got a heck of a man chill out too. I got a heck of a man chill out. Did you happen to see the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday? Did you see it? Did you get a chance to see the game?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was something that took place before the game. I believe that the Raiders were trying to hype themselves up. So one of the defensive tackles, he calls the whole Raiders team up to the 50-yard line to the Kansas City Chiefs logo. Check him out now. He calls them to, and keep in mind, Arrowhead is the second hardest place to play in the NFL. It's already hard enough.
Oh, man.
They
what
go
are you
to the
doing?
50. They stump on the 50. You're stumping on the 50-yard line of a team that is 6 wins in a row at this point. 5 wins. This made 6. You stump on the logo. Well, if you're going to stump on the damn logo, then back it up. Do you know what happened after they stumped on the logo, Mr. Ermanni?
They got stomped on.
48-9 was the final score for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. Last time I saw a team stump on the logo was my junior year. Ohio State came into the big house. They were number 2 in the country. They were going for back-to-back national championships, and they stumped on the logo. Stumped on the logo. Stumped on the Block M. You know what? Chris Perry solidified his Heisman Trophy finalist bid by having 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, and we beat them by 14 points. Usually doesn't work when you need to motivate yourself to play a team that's good. So to the Las Vegas Raiders, who has had a hell of a year in a bad way, I say, man, chill the hell out.
Oh, the Raiders are a disaster.
The first play of the game, Jacobs fumbles. They run it in for a touchdown. One play, they're down 7-0. They never recovered. It was 28-0, 35-0 going into the half. They kick a field goal just to make it 35-3, and they just got laughed off the field. They got, I think, 90-some-odd points scored against them in 2 games against the Chiefs this year.
Hey, guys, top of the hour. I want to take a break. Maz, I want to get to your man chill out next, and that'll spur us back into the NFL because your man chill out came from an NFL game of the day yesterday, Tampa Bay and Buffalo. We'll get to Maz's man chill out. We'll take that to the NFL talk. Big Monday here on the Woodward Sports Network. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Top of hour number 2, Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. It is fun to be back here. You know, I took Friday off. I had some obligations, and it is interesting how much this is going to sound corny or whatever, but I miss you guys when I don't see you on my regular days. Any of the pregame show yesterday that I didn't do? I mean,
missed you, man.
Man, I'm telling you, good to be back. This period between Thanksgiving and Christmas and then ultimately New Year's, this 5-6 weeks feels like it's a sprint to the finish.
Yeah,
it's and then you get some normalcy after that, I feel like.
It is. No, it is a tough time. I think everything condenses, especially in the sports world, like life in general. But in the sports world, man, like it heats up, man. You got the end of college season, and you got the bowl, you got the awards, and it comes into the bowl, and you have the playoffs, and then it picks up. Then you start to get the draft talk going. Draft talk is when you really start to talk about it now. So it just heats up, and basketball kind of becomes real. Like, I don't think before Christmas, basketball is not real. Like, even though the Lions have played 26, not the Lions, the Pistons have played 26 games.
12 straight losses, it's real.
I'm a real boy. Yeah, but it just doesn't seem real in the NBA until you get that Christmas game. You get those rivals playing. You get, usually it's like the teams that played in the finals, the teams that were there in the conference finals. You get the fresh uniforms, you get the shoes. That's when it seems like the basketball season starts. So we're getting into that point where everything's picking up.
NBA is going to have some competition this Christmas. NFL is on. And then next year, it's on a Sunday. So it's going to be, I don't know what the NFL is going to do, how they're going to split their games up, but they're going to be all over the board.
They're going to do the same thing they did
Christmas
7
Eve?
years ago where they played on Christmas Eve.
I remember that.
Maz, you want to finish your man chill out?
I do.
Let's do it, because I think it's a good one. I think it's a good conversation.
I want to talk about the Buccaneers and the Bills yesterday. The Bills were getting just mollywopped. Call it what you want. I was embarrassed because I made Buffalo my best bet of the week this past week, and I bet it. I backed it up, and I bet them. I bet them straight up, and I bet them about the 3.5 points. And I was just hardly watching the game because they were getting killed so bad. So I'm watching the Lions, and all of a sudden Lions are over.
Too.
Fourth quarter, I got to see the whole fourth quarter of the Buccaneers game because I just concentrated on that game. The way the Bills came back, little by little, it was awesome. Allen, the quarterback for Buffalo, phenomenal. He was playing on one leg. They kept wrapping his left foot and his left toe. He's going to have an MRI on that today, as a matter of fact. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But he brought that team back. They outscored Tampa 24-3 in the fourth quarter. But they gave Tampa Bay a chance to beat them again. It's 4th and 2. You're on the Tampa Bay 7. 22 seconds to go in the game. And they brought in the field goal kicker to tie the game. And I'll tell you what, Sean McDermott has gone for this in the past. He went for it last week against the Patriots, if you remember. Went for it a couple of times earlier in this game.
What play are you running?
I'm getting 2 yards somehow. I'm getting Josh Allen rolling out, RPO, run pass option, and I'm hitting Dawson Knox.
You got no timeouts.
I don't care. I'm working 2 yards. I'm gonna go for the win. I'm not kicking
in 2
the
seconds.
field goal.
In 22 seconds.
Yes. I'm going to get the first down out of bounds somehow. If not, if you get it in the middle of the field, you run up, you spike the ball, you're still going to get 2 more plays to score a touchdown. You don't kick a field goal and give Tom Brady a chance to beat you, and that's exactly what they did. Tom Brady comes in overtime, boop, right down the field, 60 yards, Brashard Perriman. Good night. See you later. Buffalo's still going to make the playoffs, though, and they're still going to be dangerous. They're not all there yet, but they're still going to be dangerous, you ask me. I think this time they blew it. Sean McDermott, man, chill out.
Yeah, you're right. And you're right. They are going to make the playoffs, but they have just looked like a team, not because they look like, because they are just unraveling as the season goes on, man. And to be honest, Maz, you almost feel like that not getting that touchdown in Nashville against the Titans was the start of it.
Yeah.
They lose that close game to the Titans where Derrick Henry absolutely went insane. They still had a chance to win.
They went for it, man.
He went for it on 4th down. Josh Allen didn't get the quarterback sneak. Apparently, he wasn't watching videos of Tom Brady, who's the best to ever do it. And ever since then, they're losing games they should lose. They look embarrassing. The running game has regressed.
They can't run the football.
The Singletary is awful. The defense, who was a strong key point for them as well, the secondary, Micah Hyde, that defensive line, it really backed Josh Allen in the beginning of the season. Now that defense just looks like anybody can do anything on them. They still have a good record, but they have looked bad as a team in the last 6 weeks.
But they're losing close games. They're losing close games, but they're going for it most of the time. This time, I don't know what. I'll tell you why. It's because he went on 4th down against Tennessee and against New England. He's like, I'll get fired if I go on 4th down here and I don't get it in.
I get that they're losing close games. You're absolutely correct. But keep in mind, this is a team who, going into the season, Josh Allen had the best odds to win MVP. They literally had a bunch of people betting on them to be and win the Super Bowl, to be in and win. They haven't had any injuries. It'd be different if we were talking about the Cowboys, a team who has had a bunch of injuries, a bunch of COVID, a bunch of sit-outs, a bunch of regressions, but you could kind of peg it and point it to those things. Their players have all played. Their players have all been healthy. So I can't buy that they're losing close games. If you want to take the step, if you say we're the team that got to the AFC Championship last year, we should have been in the AFC Championship 2 years ago, now we're the team, you got to win the close games.
I love this extra spot in the playoffs.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because it just makes the regular season just so great for more teams. And if you think, well, the last team that gets in isn't going to do anything, I got news for you. If the Buffalo Bills were the last team to get in the playoffs, they could make it to a Super Bowl. I got news for you. If the Indianapolis Colts got the final seed, they could make it to a Super Bowl.
Like Matt says, nobody wants to play the Colts.
Absolutely. So I think 1 through 7,
true,
anybody who makes the playoffs in the AFC 1 through 7 could make it to the Super Bowl. So anybody that says a watered-down team would get into the playoffs, I just don't buy that. In Buffalo's case yesterday, and I was watching this game, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you got 22 seconds left. You're 4th and 2. You can't run the football because do you have enough time to peel bodies off some pile and spike it and do it? So that eliminates that.
They're not going to run anyway because they can't run.
Okay, so that eliminates that. So now you're counting on Josh Allen completing a pass essentially or rolling out, and if he gets tackled inbounds, which is likely on a run play where you're trying to get 2 yards. I mean, they're not going to give him the edge for 2 yards. They're not going to give him the edge. Do you have enough time? Is it worth it at that point for one extra play? Really? Because you would certainly have one extra play, an incomplete pass, and then the second play would be a field goal attempt, I would assume, unless you want to go for it, do or die, from the 4-yard line or whatever.
I almost thought they were going to do a fake field goal. I couldn't believe that they were kicking a field goal and giving Brady a chance. Are you really? Are you that crazy? Are you stupid?
I understand
apparently so.
And because hindsight is 20/20, you're able to make that call. If they go for it there on 4th and 2 and don't get it, they have completely dominated the second half of the football game. The final 30 minutes, they dominated the Tampa Bay Bucks. Could they continue that? They did have the ball first in overtime. They had a chance to win it. They didn't do anything with it. So if it was up to them before it was up to Tom Brady, their offense let them down in overtime.
Both teams get the ball, Ryan, unless you score a touchdown.
That's right.
Yeah.
They had the opportunity to end it.
They couldn't score a touchdown in regulation.
That's pretty ballsy, I think, if you're just kind of sitting there. I understand.
I know
because it didn't work.
He didn't sleep last night, Sean McDermott.
Because it didn't work.
He hasn't slept in the last 6 weeks.
Because it didn't work, you second guess the hell out of it. But if it did work, you understand.
As a Bills fan, if I was a Bills fan, I would have been proud if they had gone for it. I don't care if we lost 3 games going for it. I would have been proud of him going for it.
But then I think it goes back to what Matt says. At the end of the day, it's not just, going for it or not going for it. It's kicking a field goal and knowing who's on the opposition receiving the ball. That's Tom Brady. That's what Matt said, and I agree with him. That's not hindsight. You knew that when you made that play call. You knew that Tom Brady was on the other sideline. So I agree with you. You got to go for that. You got to go for it because you know who's on the other sideline.
Guys, let's go around the NFL if we can. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
It's the Lions pregame show, covering everything you need to know for game day. Join pros and Joes as we cover our hometown Detroit Lions.
It's Maz for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan. A great place to go and have a great time. And the inventor of that game is there. You can say hi to him. It's Chris Hutt and his wife, Noni Hutt. Make sure you tell them the guys at Woodward Sports sent you over. How you can play? All you do is throw a football at bowling pins. Knock them all down before the other team does, and you bring home the win. Host your corporate party or team building event, or just hang out with family and friends. 2 ways to play: $10 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation, $120 for 2 hours, 10 people on the lane. They got over 100 beers and a $2 mystery beer machine, multiple full bars, and you get to bring your own food in or have it delivered, all at the Folding Warehouse. So go get your fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
If you need me and Ryan to come show you how to fold, man, we'll be glad to show you how to do that thing.
Absolutely. Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. This is the bottom line, along with Tom Mazawey. I want to go around the NFL if we could. Let's do that first here. Braylon, I'm going to start with a game we talked about a little bit earlier, the Chiefs and the Raiders. Chiefs win by 39 points. I mean, it's just insane.
Excited to see the Chiefs on this six-game winning streak. And I think you're excited to see it, man. You don't even have to be a Chiefs fan. You're excited to see the Chiefs as a good football team. You're excited to see the Chiefs as a team that was in the Super Bowl the last 2 years, won the first one, lost last year to Tampa. Because now it seems like the picks that we made earlier in the year are going to be corrected. I don't say that to get the wins correct. I wanted to see the Chiefs and Tampa play again. I wanted to see Mahomes have another crack at Tom Brady with a healthy offensive line, with a healthy running back. So I think now they're starting to do that. Patrick Mahomes still hasn't gotten to where he's been in the past, but he's starting to get better. And the reason why it's working is because they figured out how to play something called defense. Gotta love what the Chiefs are doing on defense.
That's really what's happening here.
Yeah. They still aren't doing what they used to do on offense.
No.
That defense is kicking butt and giving them good field positions. Now they're just playing the field position game.
And Josh Gordon scored a touchdown. So congrats to him.
There we go. Shout out to
Absolutely. Guys, the New Orleans Saints, Taysom Hill, 30-9 win over the New York Jets.
A lot closer game than that.
Your Jets, though, reeling.
Those are Maz's Jets. Okay, when they win, they're my Jets. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, Jets are struggling. 2 wins on the season. 2 or 3. I think it's 2. But Saints, Taysom Hill, how about him? He had over 200 yards passing. He had over 100 yards rushing. He had, I think, 70 yards rushing. He had 2 touchdowns rushing. He had 2 touchdowns passing. So, all this money and all these extensions, maybe they're finally paying off a little bit for the Who Day.
Looks like Sean Payton knew what he was talking about.
I will say this, too. The Jets.
Alvin Kamara came back. That helped out as well.
The Robert Saleh's teams just, they don't look good at all, and I'm rooting for the guy.
Who's better? This is a good question. I thought about this yesterday. The New York, I'm talking about at full health, the New York Jets or the Detroit Lions? I'm taking the Detroit Lions.
I guess I would take Zach Wilson at quarterback, but the team of the Lions
is better.
Seems to be a little bit better, playing a lot harder for their coach.
The Jets have been whooped. Like, with the exception of 2 games that they won, they've gotten whooped in the majority of their games. The Lions have been in the majority of their games with the exception of 2. Or maybe you can say 3.
I'm taking the Lions. They both stink.
They both suck.
And the Giants suck as well.
They both suck.
Yeah, they do. I take the Giants over both of them now. Saquon Barkley.
The Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, guaranteed a victory over the Washington football team.
Mike McCarthy.
And he paid it off. 27 for the Dallas Cowboys, 20 for football team. So Dallas, man, they get a big win.
Same exact thing that's going on in Dallas is the same exact thing that's going on in Kansas City. The defense of the Dallas Cowboys, it's what's happening for them right now. You saw Trayvon Diggs go on that extreme run, 7 interceptions in a row. Then you start to see him getting cooked, start to see him out of position. He's gotten better. He's now in full phase with the lock and step with the wide receivers. By the way, they got DeMarcus Lawrence back. By the way, they got Randy Gregory back. Massive interior defensive lineman for the Cowboys. And guess what? I had the game-winning play yesterday for them. But Dak Prescott he's taken 4 steps back.
You see what Ryan Clark said about him?
At the beginning of the season, Dak Prescott had propelled himself into the elite quarterback category. He was up there with Tom. He was up there with Josh Allen. He was up there with that bad man in Green Bay. Now, he's back down to that tier 2, maybe even creeping down to that tier 3. He's not the reason they're winning games. It's that defense of the Dallas Cowboys led by DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. 12 sacks on the season. He's not only potentially going to be, he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie, but he could be the NFL Defensive Player of the Year as well. Maz.
Trayvon Diggs, too. I mean, for the Cowboys, you look at those 2 guys on one team. Oh,
man.
Diggs and Parsons on one.
Each week, I look at Maz and say, you know what? Maz is right. Maz is right.
I will say,
making fun of me, everybody.
I will say, yes, it looks great. I don't know if he'd be as good for the Detroit Lions.
He's a talent.
I understand.
Now you add Hutchinson to it. How do you feel about your team now?
Very good. I'm not saying it wouldn't be great.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be great.
And people say I talk bad about Penei Sewell. I don't. I told you he's going to be an All-Pro.
Even if he's a Hall of Famer, you think
I don't give a damn if he's a Hall of Famer.
Right, doesn't matter to you.
Because that kid is a game changer in Dallas. A game changer.
Your Cleveland Browns were trying to lose it at the end, but they did win that football game over the Baltimore Ravens 24-22. The new Browns beat the old Browns 24-22.
When's the last time you've seen an onside kick work? They get the onside kick, and I was just mad at the play on 4th down. I think it was 4th and 8. Wasn't quite 4th and 10. I believe it was around 4th and 8. And Huntley, who's the backup quarterback, for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson went out with an ankle injury in the second quarter. And he throws the ball I hate this, 2 yards.
Myles Garrett was on him. He had no choice.
Then in that case, you got to call another play call. Then I don't like the play call then. I don't like the play call.
Put it this way. He said Hut, and Myles Garrett was on his back.
Then he should have called a different play. Myles Garrett, by the way, had an outstanding game, by the way. His first career touchdown, sack strip fumble for a touchdown, very reminiscent of another play I saw this year. But this one counted.
Hey, go back to Dallas a minute. What did Ryan Clark say about Dak?
He said,
I missed it.
Ryan Clark said this team is good enough to win the Super Bowl except at the quarterback position.
Wow.
You cannot win a Super Bowl with the way that Dak Prescott is playing right now.
Ryan Clark said that.
But think about it, though. He's absolutely telling the truth. You got Pollard, who when you give him the ball plays well for you. You got to throw your hat out for Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott's playing with an ankle injury, and he's a
half a guy.
He's been fighting tooth and nail and actually playing well for the Cowboys in the run game. You got Gallup back. You got CeeDee Lamb back. You got Amari Cooper back. You got Todd Schultz, who's a young tight end that I like. I like Todd Schultz a lot. You have all these weapons. Everything is back. And the guy that you're paying $75 million to this year alone, keep that in mind. $75 million this year alone. This guy has been bad, man.
I feel like that's when the problem started, though, for Dak, is when Amari went out, and then CeeDee Lamb went out, and then there were a couple other guys that were kind of playing in positions that were a little bit out of their role. And now that those guys are back, maybe they'll get going again. But I feel like these problems started when Cooper went out.
$75 million, I don't want to hear it. Like, if I'm going to pay somebody $75 million, that means that they have the ability to win when these things happen. They have the ability to win when these things come back. For $75 million, I don't want to hear that. You got to make plays. Like, when he throws the ball, it just looks abysmal. He's missing his receivers by a mile. He's making wrong reads. He looks very similar to what we talked about Jared Goff early on in the year. Wrong reads and missing his receiver by a mile. $75 million, you got to figure it out, Dak.
There's one other football game I want to get to, but I want to put a pin in that football game for just a second and get to congratulate Fish, because Winnipeg beat Hamilton in overtime 33-25 to win the 108th Grey Cup.
He was there.
Our very own Sam Fisher returned home to the area at about what time, Fish? After 2 in the morning?
Yeah, it was like 2:30. I went to bed at 3.
Can you give us a sense of your fandom for the CFL and the Grey Cup? What's going on there?
I fell in love with it 3-4 years ago, and I love every sport, but this just text onto it, and it's CFL, Canadian football. It's the Grey Cup, Super Bowl, and it was absolute fun time. I'm doing it again in 2023. It's back in Hamilton 2023.
Count me
I'm
in,
going.
Fish.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that.
Now, Hamilton is in Ontario?
Yes, it is. It is
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's above Buffalo.
I need more energy. If you're going to be this into it, you got to be more energy. I need to find out, why are you into it? Give me some energy.
Next year, it's in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Did you say vagina?
No, I did not.
Oh, Regina.
Yes.
Okay.
Saskatchewan. That's what it's next year.
Now,
I was
Fish,
extremely confused.
Were you a big fan of the CFL when Doug Flutie was in it, or
Warren Moon?
I was not, but I do know who they are.
Okay.
And there were people that had Doug Flutie jerseys on yesterday.
Who are some of your favorite CFL players of all time?
Chad Johnson.
Chad Ochocinco.
There we go.
Very good.
Hamilton
Tiger Cats, is that what they are?
Yes.
Okay. Love the Tiger
they
Cats.
should
I used to
have
play for the East Detroit Tiger Cats in 4th grade.
They should have won that game. Mads will tell you, terrible calls.
Listen to this, guys.
They did awful.
In Canadian football, if you don't return, by the way, look what Fish got. I got my CFL Grey Cup shirt.
It looks like a Guardian alarm mixed with like Toronto Maple Leafs.
Listen, I don't miss the Grey Cup either.
Good, man.
I haven't gone to it, but I watch it every single year religiously. I taped it last night. Once the 4 o'clock games were over, I flipped over to it. I didn't care. I watched the Packers on and off because, I can't stand Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Oh, I love that.
So anyway, I'm watching the Grey Cup. Here's what happened. If you don't return a ball out of the end zone on a kick, it's called a single. You lose a point. No, it's a single. You lose a point.
What?
The rouge is 2 points. A single is 1 point.
Oh, my God.
If you don't return the ball out of the end zone, it's a point.
It's called a safety, man.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Okay, so listen to me.
What is this?
So what happened was Hamilton, the guy decided after Winnipeg took the lead at the end of the game. They're up 2 points.
Are fans still on here?
They kick off to Hamilton. What does the Hamilton guy do?
Takes it out of the end zone.
No, he downs it. So
Like
he
a
loses a
dig-dig.
point.
Yeah, he loses a point.
He loses a point. So now they're down 3. They drive the whole 109 yards, and they kick a field goal to tie it instead of winning it.
Which they had him open in the second down. They had him open.
They lost.
Blew it.
They lost me when I saw a center line, a 50-yard line, and then another center line. I said, "What the hell is this?"
And the end zone's at 20 yards.
Yeah, 20-yard end zone.
Can you imagine playing those rules for 10 years and coming to NFL like messing up? You're like, oh, I thought I'd lose points if I died.
I think the motion is interesting because
I like the motion.
I know you can start running towards the line if you time it right.
That's called arena football.
Yeah, that is. It's like arena football. Well, that's great.
Anyway, back to the NFL.
Yeah,
please.
back to the NFL. This is what I want to get to, guys.
Good stuff. Fish.
Yesterday, the Tennessee Titans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-0. Urban Meyer is a dead man walking in Jacksonville. I was so wrong about this coach in the NFL. I couldn't have been more wrong if I tried to be more wrong about Urban Meyer's coaching future in the NFL.
Right.
He's done. We'll talk about it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. And that's the bottom line because he's out of here. He's definitely out of here.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
With DeAndre Swift out nursing a shoulder injury and Jamal Williams being on the COVID list, the Detroit Lions elevated Craig Reynolds from the practice squad to the main roster for their game yesterday versus the Denver Broncos. And he didn't do too bad either. 11 carries for 83 yards. Unfortunately, he didn't have any touchdowns and was not able to help the Lions get their second win of the season. Earlier today, Dan Campbell talked about yesterday's game and Craig's performance.
I just think his consistency, he was steady. I mean, it's when you go into a game with a guy that hasn't played for you and you have a lot of trust for him, that's rare. And I would say I felt that way about it. Like I didn't have one, just as a play caller, I didn't have one problem handing the ball to him. Like I trusted him because I see it every day in practice against our defense. And I see him take reps for us offensively, because Swift's been down and Jamal and so he's been doing things in practice for us offensively. He's been getting reps. So, and he's smart, man. He doesn't make mental errors. He's got vision as a runner. He's tough. He can protect, and he's got a little something as a receiver out of the backfield. So, and I would say what he did yesterday was that didn't surprise any of us. I said that yesterday, but he did exactly what we thought he would do. And I think had we been able to hang in there a little bit longer and play we didn't get behind, I think you'd have seen a guy who would have rushed for a lot more yards than just what he did.
They heard it from Dan Campbell. That's all for today. This is Corey Woods with the Woodward Sports Network checking in with your Detroit Lions Minute.
That was a dope background, man. Corey Woods. Shout out to Corey Woods, man. His background. He's picking some nice vantage points. I see you, brother.
Absolutely. Guys, let's talk a little bit about what's going on down there in Jacksonville. It's a huge story in the NFL. Urban Meyer appears to be toast down there. Let me put up a tweet. Actually, is this sound? I forget.
We have a tweet first. I thought I gave you 2 things.
Uh-oh.
2 cuts.
All right. Well,
what's the 2 cuts I gave you? What's the first one?
Let's talk about it.
Oh,
Okay,
there-
that's
there
the
it is,
handshake.
the handshake.
Yeah, that's,
My
that's
bad.
right. My bad. It's my bad.
Mike
Sorry,
Vrabel.
guys. 3:30 came early this morning. I'm gassed.
Oh man, look at that! Look at
Look at that
Look at the
handshake.
no!
Look
Look at the
at
no!
the
look.
handshake, man.
Do you know Vrabel used to be on his staff back in the day? Vrabel
didn't
was on
realize
Urban
that.
Meyer's
at,
staff.
at Ohio State, I think.
Yep.
I did not
when
realize
he first,
that.
when he
Staff.
first got to Ohio State. You're
Yep.
right.
Look at the way he did. He even take his hand out of his pocket.
It was a no-
He just looks like a dead man.
Who in the F does he think he is?
So all of the stories came out yesterday that Urban is like just a total
Douche.
degrading assistant coaches.
Yeah.
That he had a public locker room yelling match with Marvin Jones, and if anybody here in Detroit knows what a gentleman and a professional Marvin Jones was here in Detroit for all of those years, of all the guys to have a shouting match with,
He's not the one.
that's probably the wrong guy, because you will never find a more professional person than Marvin Jones
Had
Jr.
to be talked into coming
Yes.
back to the
Right.
facility.
Yeah.
He left, and his players and teammates and some of the coaches that he's school with, they had to convince him to come back to the facility. What type of S show is he running down there in Jacksonville?
He
hope we
doesn't
can-
do
hope we can tell him to
anything
come
with
back
the
here.
defense. He
Sounds
doesn't do
all right.
anything with the defense. Like total hands off
Yep.
with the defense. Doesn't say one thing about it. And by the way, Trevor Lawrence, with his 4 interceptions yesterday, he has gotten worse every single week.
Yeah.
Mix in a couple of good games here and there, or a couple of good moments, I should say.
You don't even
here
hear
and there.
about the kid. That's
He
the worst thing that could
looks
happen.
Lost. It's
Yes.
not like a Zach Wilson in New York. Zach Wilson looks like a much better quarterback losing, but Jackson, this is one and done. Urban Meyer not happening in year 2.
But with Trevor Lawrence, you got to feel bad for the kid, because look at the environment he's in. It's a complete and utter S show down there. Urban doesn't know what he's doing. They can't get on the right path. You see him with the things that have happened off the field have taken away from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He doesn't seem to have the players in the locker room. Like, he's just existing right now. And this is what happens sometimes with young quarterbacks. They get on the wrong team because they're number 1 picks overall. You go to a bad team, and a lot of times bad teams have what? Bad franchises, bad ownership, bad managers, bad coaches. Like, look at David Carr. David Carr took so much stuff, and he was so beat the hell up when he was at the Houston Texans. He lost his confidence. He lost who he was, and he never got to be in a situation. Joey Harrington, the Detroit Lions. Like, Derek Carr talks about his brother all the time and said, I'm not half the quarterback my brother was.
Yeah.
My brother just had the misfortune playing for the Houston Texans when they first opened up.
That's cool.
Just think about that.
Their first pick.
Yeah, first pick ever.
I don't envision how Urban Meyer lasts.
Well, we didn't think he was going to last at midseason when he was out at the bar.
That's because they
got
have
photographed.
That's because they also have, and we talked about this on the group chat, they have an inexperienced owner. A great man in Shad Khan, a great man, but inexperienced owner. He doesn't know what he's doing as an owner. He's trying to be loyal. He's trying to back him. He doesn't know who to listen to, who's giving him advice. Do I listen to this guy? Do I listen to this guy? Do I listen to Urban, who I'm paying $12 million to, by the way? I think that is a problem as well, having an inexperienced owner. A great guy, but inexperienced owner.
You know, one of the things that was coming out of all these leaks now that are happening in Jacksonville, everybody's going to the media. Everybody's talking about these different situations that happen within the building. Michael Lombardi, former NFL executive with the New England Patriots, he was on Twitter today saying, you know what, anything you're hearing about Jacksonville and Urban Meyer situation, it's worse in the building. like than even everything that you're hearing. He says it's way worse actually in the building. Here's Urban Meyer after the game talking about rats.
What's the answer? Start leaking information or some nonsense? No, that's nonsense. That's garbage. That's that's, once again, I've been very blessed. I've not really dealt with that. I've not dealt with, well, did you hear what he said? What? No. Let's improve on offense and get our quarterback in a position to be successful. That's our focus. What someone's brother said or someone said that will occupy very little of my time. And if there is a source, that source is unemployed. I mean, within seconds, if there's some source that's doing it.
You know what that look
There's a
is?
source.
He don't like rats.
No.
Snitches get stitches in
Rat
Urban
poison.
Meyer's regime.
Yeah, people that suck don't like rats because they're telling the truth. You know what that look was when you watched that press conference? And that wasn't dejection. What that look was the look of someone that thought they could do anything. They thought their you-know-what didn't stink. They thought they could come into this league and, oh, it's just like Ohio State. Oh, it's just like Florida. Oh, it's just like Utah. Oh, it's just like Bowling Green. I'll have success because I'm Urban freaking Meyer. I win everywhere I go. This ain't the NCAA. It's grown men out here. There are adjustments like all that stuff. See, in college, you are the brand. The head coach is the guy, and everybody comes under the head coach. The AD comes under the head coach. The players come under the head coach. As a head coach in the NFL, presidents are over you in some organizations. Like the general managers can be above you in some organizations. The owner, damn sure, is over you. Depending on what type of players you have on your team, like an Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be above you. A Myles Garrett will be above you. That he's not used to. That he can't take.
I think he wants to get fired.
Do you?
Yeah, because he's going to get paid by Shad Khan. He's going to get most of the $12 million a year that they signed him to.
He can go back to Big Noon Kickoff.
Yeah, he could. Bob Stoops is out there right now. Well, Bob Stoops.
They could do it together.
Come back. They could. There's an extra seat. There's no room on that desk.
They'll make it work.
This guy, he don't want to be there.
Nah.
He does not want to be there. If you wanted to be there, you don't leave after a Thursday night game and go to the bar with your friends and get photographed groping girls, groping women. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you're a young single guy, but you're on camera. You have a family. Your wife is at home, I think babysitting at that point, their nieces and nephews. He has not fit the mold of Urban Meyer since he got to the NFL. He's out, man. He wants out. He's gonna get out.
You ever go to the gym and then there's that guy on the side that sees the big guys lifting the big weight and he's hiding and says, I could do that. And then when the big guys leave and let's say they don't rack the weight, by the way, I hate people that don't rack the weights. They don't rack the weight. And then he gets on the bench, I got this. And then he gets it off, but then once he gets it down, he realizes, oh, I can't do this. That's what it is. He picked up 405 and thought he had it. And now it's crushing his chest.
I couldn't have been more wrong about Urban Meyer and, the NFL if I tried. I mean, here's a guy that has won everywhere. Yep. Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State. Hell, he wins on the desk. I mean, he wins everywhere. But the one thing about these college guys that go to the NFL is you can't really pick the players. You can pick, Urban Meyer had the ability to go to the team that had the number one pick in the draft so that he could pick that quarterback that he wanted, but it is clearly not working out. He is not coaching up Trevor Lawrence. It is not clicking between he and Trevor Lawrence. It is certainly not working between he and any veterans in that locker room. He's just a disaster. And if you are Shad Khan, this thing is not going to work. One of the hardest things for an owner of any job, of any company to do is to realize when you have lost. Yeah. You cut your losses. Don't make a bad decision worse by trying to be right.
The thing about being
Does that make sense?
No, you're right. The thing about being a college coach is you can talk to college players differently. You can motivate them differently. You can hold things over them differently. They're young men. Like you're molding these young men into young men. You're molding them into a man to get to that next level. They're 18 to 22. Like in the NFL, you can't talk to guys that are 35 and married with 3 kids a certain type of way. You can't hold them all night in meetings and they got to get to their families. You can't talk to a guy that's making $54 million any type of way. And sometimes you don't realize that. You'll look and say, well, Pete Carroll was able to leave USC and go have success with Seattle. No, Pete Carroll was with the New York Jets. And then he was with the Patriots. Then he went to USC. Then he went back to the NFL. So he understood the NFL pedigree when he got back from college. He don't understand that NFL pedigree. It's a big difference when talking to an 18-year-old versus talking to a guy that's 40 that's been in the NFL for years and has 3-4 kids and he's married. Can't talk to him any type of way.
Guys, I want to get to the Monday Night Football game tonight. Who needs it more, the Rams or the Cards?
It's a good one.
I'm going to ask you that question because it is a huge Monday night matchup. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Man, it's my favorite time of the day to talk about Gypsy Vodka. Man, is this stuff good. Gluten-free, Michigan's own. Actually, Michigan State, because that's Adam and Mike. Gypsy Vodka, gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times. And guess what? 50 different formulas were created. 50
How
different,
many?
50. The big
United States.
5-0.
Dang.
Big 5-0. 50. Like Fish said, the United States, 50 of them formulas were tested, tried, and came up with the one. The one. That means every time they got close to getting it, they were like, you know what? Still not there.
We need to work harder.
Still not there. We need to work harder. And they got the 50 and they made it work.
They got it.
Infused with artesian spring water.
Ooh-wee.
Hey, that's my line.
I'll say it again. Infused with artesian spring water. Go to your neighborhood liquor store, ask for Gypsy Vodka, and if they don't have it, then call the radio station. We'll tell you how to get it. Gypsy, I can't with you guys. I'm laughing. Remember, if you're gonna drink
if they don't have it, request it.
They got it.
Spring artesian blend.
There we go.
Get it.
By the way, Canada's underrated.
What? Huh?
Canada's underrated.
No, it's
yeah.
not.
Did you like the Tim Hortons? How many did you stop at?
Well, there's several.
Yeah.
We stopped at one. I had Canadian staple. You got to go to Tim Hortons and get Justin Bieber's donuts.
What about Mr. Sub? Did you see a Mr. Sub?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. Got to go to a Mr. Sub when in Canada.
How many kilometers were you guys going at that time?
We were going like about 110.
First of all, nothing
and
about
I had
Canada.
to get a poutine.
Canada is not underrated. Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal are 3 of the nicest cities in the world, and Canada is not underrated.
Well, most Americans would probably say that. Some.
No, I don't. I love Toronto and I love
Canada's
Vancouver.
my favorite national anthem.
Oh, it's a good
Is
one.
it? Even more than the great Francis Scott Key?
Yeah.
It is a good
Even
one.
more. I love old Canada.
I love it when Tamia, Grant Hill's wife, I love it when she sings it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it when she sings it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Hey, gang, let's get into this Monday night matchup tonight. It's a big game for Matthew Stafford, right? I mean, this is the type of game as the reason why Matt Stafford is in L.A. and not here in Detroit or in, Charlotte, Carolina.
He asked for this game.
He wanted this game.
He complained.
He wanted primetime.
And they wanted him. They didn't want Jared Goff. They wanted what they believed Matthew Stafford to be. Now, the first time that they played the Arizona Cardinals, they got blown out 37-20. And again, this game is about matchups. And the Los Angeles Rams do not match up well, for whatever reason, against these Arizona Cardinals. I think Stafford needs this game more than Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. You think I'm wrong, don't you?
Yes. One, I need to see a good game out of Von Miller. Mm-hmm. Since they traded for Von Miller, they've won one game. They're 4-1 since getting Von Miller. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs made a move that nobody talks about. They got Melvin Ingram, bought him over, and they're 6-0 since they got him. So I need Von Miller to step it up and make some plays for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, with that being said, I think the Cardinals need to win this game, and it's for a simple fact. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals do not want to go to Lambeau in the playoffs. That is the main reason why I say they need this game. They lost to the Green Bay Packers at home when Aaron Rodgers didn't have anybody to throw the ball to, and Aaron Jones was hurt. If my mind serves me correctly,
it was.
They do not want to go to. Nobody wants to go to Lambeau except Tom Brady last year. Nobody wants to go to Lambeau. So for me, Kyler Murray's got to win this, and that's the only reason why. They've proven that they can play with anybody. They've proven they can beat anybody except Green Bay. They've proven he's a leader. They've proven they got offense. They've proven they got defense. So they have all the intangibles to do it. But they don't want to go to Lambeau Field in December in January, where it's frozen, where it's out of Arizona. It's not what you're used to. He even talked about it in his last press conference. He said, man, I don't like playing those cold places. He's already told you he don't want to go to Lambeau.
If you look at teams, the 4 division leaders and the wild cards, I'm going to just read them off for you.
Yep.
Arizona, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Dallas is the division leaders. And then you've got the Rams there in the 5th spot. You've got the Vikings there as well, and I'll stop there. And the 49ers.
Yep.
There isn't a team that I just rattled off to you, correct me if I'm wrong, where home team is as important to them as the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think Arizona could go to Green Bay and win. I don't think Arizona can go to L.A., the Rams, and win. I don't think they can go to Tampa Bay and win. I don't think they can go to Dallas and win. However, if those games are in Glendale, you better play your best game because they could beat you. I could be wrong about that.
I think
Cardinals already won in LA.
They won in LA.
I'm just saying in a playoff
and that's what
atmosphere.
matters. And think about this.
In a playoff atmosphere.
I disagree because they won in LA when LA was at their best.
Okay, take LA out. Stick with Tampa Bay, Dallas, and
the Cowboys. The Cowboys can't win in Dallas in the playoffs, so you don't even have to worry about that. The Dallas is going to beat themselves in the playoffs. That's what they do every year. It's tried, true, and proven. Although they stole one from Detroit Lions. Don't get mad started. Excuse me. But with that said, I think they could beat everybody at home with the exception of Green Bay. Green Bay's the only team.
Even you think they can go to Tampa?
I think they'd go to Tampa as well. I think they'd go to Tampa as well. Look at what Tampa looked like against Washington football team last year in the playoff. Like I'm telling you, like they didn't look like these world beaters. They didn't look invincible. They're playing some really good ball and they're getting right at the right time. But I think they can get a win there. I think Kyler Murray is the X factor for playing against Tampa Bay, for playing against Dallas, for playing against LA. But you talking about going to Lambeau? There is no home field advantage in the NFL playoffs like going to Lambeau Field in January. That is the number one home
field
advantage.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Yes, exactly. Unless you're the GOAT.
Green Bay is gonna win the NFC. All right, I'm telling you that right now. It's over. It's gonna be Tampa and them. Arizona is 3rd best. Tonight, the Rams off the bye week are gonna win. It's gonna be Sean McVay. He had 2 weeks to prepare this. His best buddy is Cliff Kingsbury. They know each other very well. They are desperate. They have to win this game. My money is on the L.A. Rams tonight. I like them a lot.
Despite the 9-70 record of Matthew Stafford.
Correct. That is
despite not having Robert Woods.
Yes.
Who was one of his like.
Are you going with Arizona tonight?
Of course.
Okay. Well, you're hot. I'm not. I'm still taking the Rams, though. I like the Rams, but going down the line, no one's beating Green Bay this year.
But what I will say, there's a lot of truth to your Green Bay pick. I don't have a problem with that at all. I will say the Arizona Cardinals are going to win tonight, but it's not going to be like the first game. I think because of what you say, it's a desperation time for L.A. It's desperation time for Matt Stafford. It's desperation time for Von Miller. And it's desperation time for Sean McVay. So I think it's going to be a really, really good game. It comes down to the wire, but I still got to take Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals.
Are the Mannings doing their thing tonight?
I don't know. They're 16. Matthew Stafford has played 6 games this year. Stafford and the Rams have played 6 games against teams this year that have a plus 500 record right now. 2-4 in those 6 games. So
they're not looking great.
No, they're not looking great. I think this is an important game to the psyche of the Rams.
They have to
This
win.
is you forget. This is a Super Bowl winning team or bust type situation for them.
And next year.
They gave up. They don't have a pick until the 4th round, I believe, next year. They have gone all in. As much as you can possibly go all in the National Football League. This is a huge game for them tonight.
Two things. One, will we see an Odell Beckham sighting? I mean, he's had a touchdown.
They better.
He's had a touchdown in the last 2 games, but he's only had 28 yards last week, and then the week before that was 13 yards, which is his number, and a touchdown. So he had touchdowns, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good to look at. If you go on to what you said, just listen to the teams they've beat. They beat the Giants. They beat the Seahawks after Russell Wilson got hurt right before the half. They beat the Texans. They beat the Titans when Derrick Henry got hurt. They lost to the Titans. They beat the Giants. They beat the Seahawks. They beat the Lions, and they beat the Texans. And then they beat the Jaguars. Those are all bums.
Yeah.
Those are all bums.
No doubt.
Like when they play hard teams, they play the Cardinals. They got thrashed. They lost to the Titans. My bad, Derrick Henry was playing. 49ers thrashed them 31-10. Packers thrashed them. Like whenever they play good teams, they don't seem to be able to rise to the occasion.
2-4 this year against plus 500.
Benjamin Foles says Jalen Ramsey's out tonight. I didn't know that.
Oh man,
Doesn't matter. Matthew Stafford's in. That's why they got him to win a game like this.
Jalen Ramsey's out. You know who they got over there, wide receiver for the about 2.
It's coming out party tonight for
AJ Green.
No.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. And don't forget the trade that they made. Who did they pick up from the Eagles? Which I can't believe the Eagles made this guy away.
Zach Ertz.
It's gonna be
tight end.
It's gonna be a field day for Kyler Murray, who's mad he had to play in that cold weather last week in Chicago.
Oh hell, maybe I'm changing my pick.
Bottom line videos of it, Maz's bottom line videos of the day. We'll do
I got
next.
good ones.
Ermanni and Edwards.
You always have good ones, buddy. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuffer Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuffer Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Meyer.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
Big names, bigger opinions. It's the bottom line on Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, want to tell you about Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. They've been at it for over 90 years, must be doing something right. You know what they're doing right? They are defending your home. That's right. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe. 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control your lights, your temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock or unlock your doors. All you got to do is call this number, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
What?
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out!
Stay out of here!
Stay
Get out! Stay out! 1-800. Stay out!
I want the night.
1-800. Stay out
of my house.
Guardian
Yeah,
Alarm.
you like try to slide that one in on us, man.
Guardian Alarm, your local security expert.
Yeah,
GASSED, baby.
And we certainly appreciate their.
Wicked awesome.
Yes,
Yeah, we're gassed.
Find New
You
Roads.
guys
We
can
certainly
tell.
appreciate their participation
Did you go to
in
Canada
our
too,
Stuff
Braylon?
Studio.
You show what?
Did you go to Canada too, Braylon? You said you were gassed. Did you go to Canada too?
No, I went to O2s and watched the Lions get destroyed.
You should have seen Maz look at me when I did 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Yeah, I was over here like
You slipped. That's why. You slipped. You're so gassed.
I was like,
You
what
slipped.
the
No,
hell
that was a
that?
planned thing. Trying to keep you on your toes.
That dirty
over
looks
here.
fish, too, for talking over you.
Look at Micah Parsons. Jesus
Watch that
Christ,
fish.
he's an animal.
Oh, animal. Get him, Micah.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Maz, you got some good ones today. Bottom line videos of the day.
I'll start it off. I told you about it earlier. 24 years ago tonight, a legend was born.
Ooh-wee.
They got about a 54-yard field goal attempt. That is Daloiso's career long, 54 yards. Graham going to go for it all. One's official ruled touchdown, the other ruled out of bounds. And it is ruled a touchdown. Amani Toomer.
Right. Is the mics on?
That wasn't the legend. That wasn't the legend I was talking about.
Amani
Alex.
Tuma turned out to be a New York wide receiver legend.
He
Number
did.
18.
You know what happened in
University of
that
Michigan.
game? That was from 1998. The Giants upset the Broncos. The Giants were 13-point underdogs. The Broncos had won 18 straight games going into that game.
Interesting.
And, of course, they won the Super Bowl that following January. Let's go back to the legend I was talking about that was born 24 years ago. Why would I think a Michigan State kid would know what I'm talking about?
Nice.
To the most outstanding collegiate football player in the United States, 1997. And the winner, from Michigan, Charles Woodson.
It's one of the most iconic moments at the Heisman ever.
That's right.
Charles Woodson. Congratulations. 24 years ago tonight.
You know what
bringing
that
home
very moment?
Heisman.
You know what that very moment led to? It led to Michigan getting screwed on the split national championship because of Phil Fulmer being pissed that Peyton didn't win. I know you guys know this. Because they were pissed that Peyton didn't win it, came back for it, didn't go to the SEC championship, didn't win the national championship, didn't win the Heisman. He voted for Michigan to finish 6th. And when adding that up, because of that, we ended up having to split it. If he would have had us 1 or 2, we would have won outright. But hey, it is what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, 6.
Good stuff.
Coach
Phil Fulmer, you're
Fulmer.
rotten. You know why.
Yeah.
POS.
Hey, last night, another great scene in college basketball. This one in Waco. The Baylor fans giving the love to Dickie V.
Oh, this is great.
Look at Dickie V losing
Who's
it.
better than Dickie V?
Nobody. Nobody.
Oh, man, we love Dickie V. Who doesn't love Dickie V? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Has there been
Diaper Dandy, baby?
Has there been an announcer that's meant more to any particular sport than
No.
Dick Vitale to college basketball?
Not at all.
Marv
Not
Albert?
at all. Not at all.
I mean the NBA was great. Marv Albert.
No, I agree with you. I was trying to throw a name
yeah,
out there.
Just say, he was.
John Madden?
I mean,
I can't wait for that Madden special on
I know.
Christmas,
Christmas
by the way.
Day.
Man, it's just
No,
Dickie V.
is college basketball.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Keith Jackson?
That's it. Keith Jackson's college football.
Howard Cosell?
Howard Cosell is everything. Everything to me, as a matter of fact.
There you
How
go.
about, let's go back to 2010. Do I got time, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, 2010. The Metrodome roof collapses, leading to a Monday night game here in Detroit between the Giants and the Vikings. Let's look back at the old Metrodome.
As we welcome you back, in case you missed it, the Giants game with the Vikings has been moved to tomorrow night from Detroit. Regional coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on Fox. And of course, all this is due to that big blizzard up in Minnesota. And we've got exclusive footage of the snow inside the Metrodome. It caused a leak overnight, and then early this morning, the roof collapsed.
Explosion. The Metrodome roof collapsing, all that snow.
Crazy, man.
Coming in. And then, of course, the Lions hosted that game on Monday night. I was at that game.
I was, too.
Free tickets.
I covered
Free
that
tickets.
game, and one of my stories was they were giving free tickets away for that game, but people were out on the street, like they gobbled up all the free tickets and were selling them.
Oh, my God.
I gotta love Detroit.
Yeah, so that was my story that night.
Gotta love Detroit.
Yeah.
That actually led to the University of Minnesota getting their new stadium.
Yep.
They got the whatever something
TCF Bank.
Yeah, TCF Bank Stadium. Yeah.
Hey, and lastly, my one. This is Vince Young. This is Vince Young in overtime.
I still have nightmares.
As a Titan. I mean, this is back in 2009. This guy, man, how did he not make it in the NFL? Check this guy out, man.
Jeff Fisher.
Here come the blitzers. Vince Young on the run.
Vince Young inside the 30. Off he goes. Vince Young inside the 20, the 10. It is over. Vince Young has done it again. A 39-yard touchdown
Listen
run
to Don Criqui.
to end the game in overtime.
Vince Young has a flair for the dramatic, and he does it again, folks. Steps in against the blitz, finds the open lane, and I guess he knows the offense better than I do as he goes for the big touchdown in the win.
Put him in the shotgun, let him run if it's there.
Vinsanity.
By the way, you see where that was at. It was Houston, Texas. Guess where Vince is from?
Texas.
Right
He's
there.
from Houston. He's from H-Town, so that was a homecoming for him. Man, I still have nightmares thinking about him when we played them in the Rose Bowl my senior year. Had the game won. We should have won. I was going to be MVP. I was so excited. Enter Jim Herman's defense and Vince Young. But they played him perfect on first and second down. Played him zone, played the pass. You know what I'm saying? Did that. Every third down, all out blitz, he had 192 rushing yards. Go figure.
All right, gang, we got to get out of here. What a hell of a Monday it was. Thanks for tuning in. Tell a friend about us. Let them know about Woodward Sports Network. Braylon, get us out of here.
I'm going to make this nice and sweet. This is why I don't like teams like Cincinnati in the Final Four. Cincinnati versus Alabama. The spread is already at 11.5. That's why they shouldn't be in the Final Four. That's all I got for you today.
That's it. Bye-bye, everybody.
I'm Edwards. He's Ermanni, Alex, Fish, Maz. We're out of here.
Go Lions.
Under second and 18, Mazawey. Oh, nearly intercepted. It is! And it's over. They waited an extra year, and even regulation wasn't enough for Winnipeg. But they finally got it done. The Blue Bombers were the best before